and I'm agreeing with and consistently modifying something DZ has said, is that I look forward to the day, like today we pick up that headline about people, a small group of Catholics who think that Galileo was wrong, and we chuckle because they're crazy and they have no impact on anything.
I'm sorry, y'all might be, but maybe I'll chuckle later. I'm just hot.
There's nothing hot about it.
Well, there's a lot of issues like that come up that are maddening, right? And you're just touching the tip of the iceberg.
I mean, obviously it's worth getting upset if they are teaching children and basically ruining, lives and intellect for the future. But the thing that I kind of look forward to is the fact that I can read that and chuckle because I realize this is an incredibly small minority that has no impact on anything. And I look forward to the day when I chuckle at the same headlines when they read, a small group of people still believe in a God. Or
Darwin was wrong.
Yeah. Anything along those
Humor is a good coping mechanism if you can take advantage of it.
Excuse me?
Humor is a good coping mechanism in these situations like this. If you can find a way to laugh, you'll live longer.
Yeah.
And you'll have a lot of laugh.
Much bigger fish to fry. If I worried about every little crazy person, my life would be miserable. But
we agree that they're crazy. So.
But thanks for calling in, William. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
Sure. Good day.
All right.
All right. Hey, look, we have a caller from Austin, Texas. I don't know where this is. Bob, can you tell us where Austin is? What do you mean? Well, we tend to not get any calls from the Austin area because we broadcast over the internet. So you're like the first caller that's from Austin in I don't know how long. So how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I've actually got proof for God. Do you know who Chris Langan is?
No, but that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, he has proof for God, and he's a certified genius. He has an IQ of 210. It's higher than Einstein.
Sounds like an argument from authority, but keep going.
Well, I just wanted to introduce it to you, just so you know that it's not some crazy guy.
Well, it doesn't. See, that's the point that I kind of made last week by dressing up in drag, is that the validity of an argument that isn't impacted in any way by who makes it. So there are plenty of people who are brilliant in a number of areas, who are stupid in other areas or just incorrect in other areas. So
yeah, I understand. Just see the argument for yourself. It's called, well, just search his name on Wikipedia and YouTube and you can find it. And he's proven it. So I kind of wonder why you guys haven't talked about that one yet. Maybe you're scared to address that one.
I can tell you why. Because if any physicist or mathematician actually proved God, it would be front page news around the world, and none of us would have to bother wasting any time discussing it. Instead, what you're probably talking about is one of many crackpot theories coming from some otherwise brilliant people that has been largely discredited by their peers.
Now, you got to remember, sometimes people are ahead of the time.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not. And the time to believe them is when you've actually demonstrated that they're right.
We can be happy to look at it. So we'll look at it.
Well, now you can't say you don't know about it. You can't use that excuse anymore because I told you about it.
No, I don't even know what it is exactly.
Well, actually, I can still use that excuse as long as I don't actually go look at it. But I will go look at it. And it may be that I've seen this before and dismissed it because if it's one intelligent person making an argument and it hasn't been peer-reviewed or supported by anybody, or if it's been discredited by others, then I don't need to waste any more time on it, now do I?
So maybe you could, Bob, give us a 1 or 2 sentence version of what it's about.
Well, I'll just let you take a look at it, but he proves from quantum physics and math and philosophy and logic that the universe is like a mind, and the question, whose mind? Well, that's God's mind.
Yeah, there isn't anything in math that equals mind or God's mind. There isn't anything in physics that equals mind or God's mind. And there isn't anything in quantum physics that equals mind or God's mind.
So, you don't know that yet.
So, without being able to introduce those variables, I think he's a nut. But I'll look it up.
Look it up because he says this argument is as irrefutable as 2 + 2 = 4, he says.
Well,
okay.
We'll take a look at things. I would highly recommend that you stop depending on somebody asserting very strongly that something is true and actually dig around and look beyond it, because those mathematical disciplines don't have within them the concepts of minds, which means at best he's making an argument by analogy, which doesn't prove anything.
Or misapplying
And I'm sorry, because people will call in and say, well, Einstein believed in a God. Well, yeah, he believed in, this Spinoza's God, the law of the universe, the thing is a God, it's a metaphor type thing. And whenever they raise this, they raise it as if, well, since you don't believe in a God, do you think you're smarter than Einstein?
No, I'm not saying he believes it, I'm saying he's got an argument for it with mathematics.
If he's got an argument that he says is irrefutable and he doesn't believe it, then he's even crazier than I thought.
Okay.
But thanks.
Tell me the guy's name again.
Chris Langan, Langan.
Okay.
And just one other thing before I go, I'll just take this off there. What makes you think that God is supposed to be moral? The last call you were whining about 50 million children dead. Well, what makes you think in the Bible that he's supposed to save people?
I don't, okay, wow. In that particular case, we're talking about a particular definition of God where God is predefined to be moral. Christians think their God is moral, that they think he is the perfectly moral being in the universe. I don't think that thing exists. I don't think that a God necessarily needs to be moral. I think that it's just as likely if a God is out there that it is immoral or amoral or no more moral than anybody else. I'm not doing the defining here. This is the traditional philosophical problem of evil, otherwise known as theodicy, which depends on a specific definition of a God. We weren't just sitting around whining about how immoral a God is. We were talking about a specific philosophical argument that predefines God to be moral.
Yeah, well, I don't think God owes us anything. I think we betrayed him, and he's getting his revenge on us.
I'm sorry that you have been convinced of something so absurd that you are willing to shrug off your own self-worth for what can only be described as monstrous. Clearly, the God you believe in is not morally good.
But you had children, and they betrayed you, and say they slapped you in the face.
Sure, would I throw them in the basement and torture them forever? No, because that's immoral and wrong.
What do you mean? If they're your children, you made them, they're supposed to love you.
Do you think it would be okay for you to throw your children in the basement and torture them for the rest of their lives? Because they don't love you and because they betrayed you?
This is by analogy to the
morally
Christian God.
correct?
Well, that's what
I thought.
Christian God.
Think about it some more, Bob. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling, Bob.
Gabe in Hemet, California, how are you?
Hello?
Hello? You're on the air.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank God I finally got through.
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling me.
Well, I know I don't have too much time, so if I get the choice.
All right, so what do you got for us today?
Well, there's a part of me that's atheist, and there's another that believes in God,
Well, a lot of folks have kind of these dual beliefs that don't quite add up together, and hopefully that's causing you a little discomfort.
Are you a split brain patient? Because that's the only case I know of where that's sound.
No, I can understand.
I do understand kind of colloquially what you're talking about, but go ahead.
I've been watching your guys' show for a while, and that's been, has me to think for a long time now.
Cool.
But one question is, so you guys don't believe in exorcism, right?
Correct.
No.
Well, I mean, I believe that people engage in a process that they call exorcism, but I don't think that there's anything supernatural about it.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
you guys
like
believe
theater.
in, I'm sorry?
I said I think it's like theater.
Oh, so you guys don't believe in ghosts, spirits, demons, or negative energy, right?
Nope.
Negative energy as in electrons or as in some kind of woo stuff?
No, like, controlling over a mind or a body or any of that.
Sure, no.
So technically atheism is about God claims, but most atheists are also skeptics, and so all of these things that you bring up, the evidence is either non-existent or